Hello Sea Mills Primary School, it's Reverend John here and we have another assembly for you from St Edyth's. I'm here with Chloe and today we're thinking about New Year's resolutions. Has anyone heard of New Year's resolutions? Well, a resolution is like a choice or a decision that you make for the year, something that you like to do or something that you want to give up. And so we're going to be thinking about those New Year's resolutions. And to get us thinking, I just have a question for you, and it's a multiple choice question. So I want you to have a think and really listen carefully, see if you can work out the answer to this question. So the question is, imagine that you've got a group of 100 people, and how many, if they all make New Year's resolutions or promises, how many out of that group of 100 will actually keep their New Year's resolution for the whole year? Is it A, 33 out of that group of 100, or 33% if you've learned percentages? Is it B, 8 out of 100 people, or 8%? Or is it C, 17 out of those 100, or only 17%? So is it 33%? Is it 8%, or is it 17% will keep their New Year's resolutions right to the end of the year? Have a think about whether you think it's A, B, or C. Well, the correct answer is B. Only 8 out of 100 people actually keep their New Year's resolutions to the rest of the year. That's a tiny amount, so we're not particularly good at keeping our New Year's resolutions. Now, I'm going to beam over to Chloe, and we've got our Bible story about a character called Jonah.
God had a job for Jonah, but Jonah didn't want to do it. Go to Nineveh, God said, and tell your worst enemies that I love them. No, said Jonah. Those are bad people doing bad things. Exactly, said God. They have run far away from me, but I can't stop loving them. I will give them a new start. I will forgive them. No, said Jonah, they don't deserve it. I'll run away, Jonah said to himself. Far away, so far away, that God won't be able to find me. So Jonah went ahead with his plan. One ticket to not Nineveh, please, he said, and boarded a boat sailing in the opposite direction of Nineveh. Well, it wasn't long before a fierce storm blew. The boat started to lurch and pitch and roll, and everyone started turning green. Jonah sat bolt upright in his bed. You see, the first thing wrong with Jonah's plan was that God sent a big storm after him. The sailors couldn't sail their ship properly. "We're sinking!" they screamed, and started throwing everything overboard. Suitcases, food, whatever they could find. By now, Jonah knew that the storm was his fault. "Throw me in instead," he shouted to the sailors, "and the storm will stop." The sailors weren't sure. "It's the only way you can be saved," Jonah cried. And so 1, 2, 3, splash! No sooner had Jonah hit the water than the waves grew calm, the wind died down, and the storm stopped. Just then, when Jonah thought it was all over, when he was sure he was going to drown, God sent a big fish to rescue him. The fish swallowed Jonah whole with one big gulp. I wonder what Jonah thought when he was inside that fish. I'm sure it smelt like rotting food. I'm sure it was very dark. And Jonah stayed inside the fish for 3 whole days. When he was in there, he had plenty of time to think. He thought about his plan and realised how silly it was. After 3 days, the fish spat Jonah safely out on a sandy beach. Just then, Jonah heard someone calling his name. "Go to Nineveh," God said. And this time, Jonah said yes. He went straight to Nineveh and told everyone God's wonderful message. Even though you run far from God, He can't stop loving you, Jonah told them. Run to Him so He can forgive you. The people of Nineveh listened to Jonah. They heard the message God sent them. And the people got a fresh start. Wow, what a strange story that was. The people in Nineveh were known as really horrible people, and not the sort of people you'd want to hang out with, so it's no surprise that Jonah didn't want to go and see them. But because he did, the people of Nineveh got a fresh start, and they were able to change their lives. Often when people make New Year's resolutions, they see it as a fresh start and a way to make changes that will help to improve their life. I wonder if any of you have ever made a resolution before. We heard earlier that sometimes these resolutions aren't stuck to very well. So I've got a little video that we're going to have a watch now to make us think about resolutions.
I have a problem with New Year's resolutions, not because they often fail or because they're too difficult, and not because I'm bad at them either. I mean, I've only been alive for 4 New Years. No, I have a problem with resolutions because people think that that's it. It's for one time to change. Now, don't get me wrong, we definitely all need change. I have no idea how to ride a bicycle, and my little brother has no idea what a toilet is for. And some of you, you probably should get out of the house more, but one big decision probably isn't going to do it. Sorry. So now what? Flush your resolutions down the toilet for one my little brother can't use? Of course not. Keep your resolutions, but go easy on yourself. Will you change? Maybe, but probably won't happen in one big moment. It'll happen in the thousands of little moments. Every time you choose to forgive or slow down or be grateful or stay calm, each little moment that you choose what's right instead of what's easy, faith instead of doubt, love instead of hate, that's where the change happens. Even if you fail 1 or 2 or 30 times, it's okay. You've got thousands of more little moments ahead of you. You'll get better. So happy New Year, God bless, and I'm off to ask my dad to get a bike.
It's great to remember that if there's something new we want to start, or if we want to make a change, that we can just take little steps. And it's great that that story that we heard about earlier reminds us that it's never too late to make a change or start something new as well.
Well, thank you so much for joining us for our school assembly today from St. Edyth's. And I'm going to build a house of prayer. If you'd like to build a house of prayer, please join in with me. And if you want to make this your prayer, say Amen at the end. So 1 brick, 2 bricks, 3 bricks, 4 bricks, put on a roof, open the door, find a nice, quiet place, and we'll pray. Dear God, thank you for all of the good things that happened in 2020 last year. Thank you for loving and forgiving us whenever we make mistakes. Help us to continue to grow and to make good decisions and to keep the good ones that we make this year. Amen. Bye everyone. Lovely to see you.